Hey everyone, this is Mike. Today I want to talk a bit about One Step from Eden. It's an upcoming roguelike game that's about to come out in February 2020. It's a game that draws a lot of inspiration from Slay the Spire, which was a stellar roguelike, and now it's basically turning a little bit into a more action-packed genre. So a lot of the card mechanics are very similar, where you get to draw a card after each encounter. You get an option to choose out of a few different cards. You can add one to your deck. You also level up, or at least gain experience at the end of each encounter, and then when you level up, you get to also add a passive bonus to your character, be it more HP, more mana regeneration, faster card draw, that kind of stuff. And then of course you also have your character itself that has her own ability. So the way the combat works is relatively simple. You have one attack that you can always use, which is basically like a little light auto attack, I guess you could say, which doesn't do much damage, but at least it's always available to you, so you can just hold down the button for the most part and have at least something to deal damage with. Other than this, you always draw from your whole deck of cards, and you basically get a full hand. Now, out this full hand, you always have two cards available to you. And then once you've drawn out your complete hand, that's when you have to recycle, redraw, and get all of your cards back. You can see that on the left of the screen, basically all the cards that are vertically all the way to the left, those are the ones that are in my hand, but the ones at the bottom are the ones that I have access to right now. So what I can do with these cards is either I can play them, thus paying their mana cost, which you can see on the blue bar right next to it, or I can decide to discard those two cards, or the one card that I have left in my hand, and then it will draw immediately from the rest of my hand that I still have available to me. And then once all of those cards have been drawn, I guess you could say, then we have to draw a new hand, which takes a little bit of time. Of course, there's also a passive to make it so that redrawing your hand becomes a lot faster. So this is where the deck building becomes a little bit more intriguing as well, because there are passives that make it so that you can draw a complete new hand a lot faster, meaning that it's also a good idea to maybe make very specific focus decks around a specific set of cards. So you don't necessarily need to have a very big deck with a lot of different cards so that you can constantly keep playing, because your mana will eventually run out as well. But of course, to contribute to that, you also have skills or passives that make it so that you regenerate your mana a lot faster as well. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do there. Of course, there are also different characters. Currently in the beta, I only been able to play with the one character, even though she does have two costumes. But when the game releases, there will be more than 8 playable characters. If it is akin to Slay the Spire again as well, we can expect that all of those characters will have a different card set to play with, and thus have a little bit of a different playstyle as well. Because for now, I've only been able to experience this one character. Apparently there's more characters in the game as well, but I have to beat some hidden boss for that, and I haven't been able to even find the hidden boss yet. So of course, the game that you're going to be seeing in the background is me playing the demo version. The demo version is available on Steam, so I'll leave a link to the Steam page in the description, and then from there you can also download the demo if you want to give the game a try for yourself, because I highly recommend you do it, as it's really unique and it's something that I've never really thought of before. It feels really fast-paced, and on the other hand you also still have that little bit of deck building in there as well. But on the other hand, if you're just good enough at the game itself, and as long as you can keep dodging, you can eventually just wear out your opponent as well, because you don't necessarily need to have a very specific, super strong deck of cards to use, but you can always just like use whatever you find, and then eventually kind of make it more specific, because of course we only have access to one floor, so it's just a few different encounters. Maybe find like a resting place that heals you a little bit, maybe find an NPC that you have to rescue. Those NPCs can be either on your side of the map, where you'll actually have to take bullets for them so that they don't die, or they can also be on the enemy side of the map, where you have to make sure that you don't accidentally kill the NPCs, because then they won't be able to help you out either. For now, I've only been able to encounter NPCs that heal me, or that give me like a passive at the end of the phase, or at the end of the fight, but from the trailers and some other stuff that we've been able to see on their Kickstarter page and on their website, we can also see that we can actually rescue characters that then might be able to come help us towards the certain phases of the fights as well, if, for example, we get hit, they come rush in to defend us against said damage or something like that. So I think this game looks really cool. Of course, we do only have access to the demo and there's not a crazy amount of information available out the game just yet, but it is definitely one of the games that I am looking forward to in 2020. 2020 is already shaping up to be quite a cool year for us PC gamers. I forgot to mention, but this game will be available on PC as well as the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, so it's one of the games I'm really looking forward to. For now, I'm just going to be playing the demo here and there because it is a very short and sweet experience for now. Of course, once the game does come out, you can definitely expect me to cover it a little bit more because I think it's really fun. So far I've been enjoying it, even though it is only a demo version. But what is there is already really good and a solid foundation to be able to grab my attention and get me interested in trying to play it a little bit more in the coming year as well. So that's One Step from Eden, just talk about it a little bit, wanted to get you guys attention for it as well, because I think the game looks really cool and I've always been somebody that really enjoys indie games. Some of my friends say that I play way too many indie games, but that's just the way I am. I like to support the little guys sometimes as well. And for the most part, they do bring out very unique and cool experiences. So for now, that's one of the big games I'm looking forward to. Oh well, small games I guess we could say, that I'm looking forward to for 2020. Hope you guys are interested into it as well. As I said, link is down in the description. And that's going to be it for me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.